English 10 students, welcome to week 4. This week on Friday, weeks 1 through 3 close. So make sure you turn in everything that was due before this week in by next Friday, by this coming Friday, November 9th, because the window closes on Friday. This week it's all about finishing Antigone. So you're going to finish reading Antigone scene 3 tomorrow. And then Wednesday, come to class at 8:30 and we will read scene 4 together. And you'll get credit for doing that. You won't have to read that one on your own. And then scene 5 you'll read on Thursday and you'll be done. And then Friday you'll have some time to catch up on anything you might be missing that's due that day. So I'm looking forward to finishing up Antigone. Next week we're going to write an essay and get that done with. And then we'll study Julius Caesar and wrap up the quarter. So things are moving fast. So here's what I want you to think about. Antigone is kind of in a bind now. She has determined that she's going to bury her brother and she's going to face the consequences no matter what Creon says. He wants to brush the dirt off and have her make an apology or something. Find some way where he can maybe, he asks first who saw it, who knows about it, and he wants to try and hide it and let her get away with it. And she refuses. She's gotten herself into this situation and she's going to stay in it. And so what I want you to think about and write in the post below is, what situation have you been in that you got yourself into that maybe you could have found a way out, or maybe you did find a way out, and did you feel good about that way out, or was it better to stand and face the consequences? So think about a sticky situation you've gotten yourself into and what happened with it. If you saw it through, apologized, or what. Here's my example. I was playing next door on the front lawn of my neighbor's house with another friend who came from out of town. Steve was his name. We were in like maybe 5th grade or so, Steve and I. And we had this hard Super Bowl. And the neighbor's house had this long slanting roof. And so we were throwing the Super Bowl up on the roof and then catching it. I don't know what made us think that it was okay for us to do that on the neighbor's roof, but that's what we were doing. And we were catching it and throwing it up, catching it, throwing it up. And then I'm not sure which of us, but it was probably me, chucked the ball, intending for it to go on the roof, and it went right through the front window of their house. And we ran inside my house next door, and we ran upstairs and hid in the bathroom upstairs as far as we could get away from the front door. Because as we're running away and getting into our own house, we could hear the oldest boy from next year, who was a few years older than me, Marty Eshman, yelling, "Who did that? Who was so angry? Who did that?" And so then Steve went home, because friends do. And I was so nervous for that whole rest of that day. The next day, nobody knew I had done it. And so I could have just never said anything, but I felt so guilty. I couldn't take it. I couldn't take the pressure of feeling so guilty. I had gotten myself into the situation. I could have just not done anything and maybe it would have ended up going away, but I had a feeling I would feel bad about it forever. And so I went and told my dad, and he was actually really nice about it and just had me go next door. He was proud of me for owning up and being honest, and he took me next door, and or he just sent me next door probably, and I knocked on the door and apologized, and they were really nice about it too, understood that it was a mistake and I had to pay to fix the window. No harm done in the long run. Way better. I got myself out of the situation by being honest and doing what I knew was the right thing to do. It was way better than living with the guilt I would have lived with forever. So what's your story? What's your story about a situation you got yourself into and either got yourself out of or didn't, the way Antigone is not getting herself out of this situation? Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing your own stories. Thanks for logging in. Bye-bye.